A couple of other things you're going to want to look at on your site itself. Broken links. Have you got any? Are you actively linking between pages? So you want to have a nice structure where you've got links from relevant pages to other pages that are on topic. And you don't want to just link, please don't link just a keyword, one word or two words, or the keyword phrase you are trying to target all the time. What you want to do is use I call it keyword sprinkling technique. So if you've got a particular phrase that you're targeting, there will be other phrases that wrap around it that are very similar. Try and use all of those phrases. We would have a spreadsheet where we would have a topic, the keywords we're using it, and the list of keywords we want to sprinkle around that topic. That's a really useful tip. Hopefully you've got an SSL certificate. If you haven't got one of those, pretty much now you can forget ranking. Google's looking to rank sites that have got secure socket layer certificates on there. It's just one of the things where you must have it. The other thing you want to look at is, does your site actually function well on mobile? I see far too many people, they've designed for desktop. So they've designed it, site looks fantastic, it looks amazing on a desktop, even looks good on a tablet, and they've not taken any real time to design it for a mobile, and also to have what we were talking about earlier, AMP pages. So I think a lot of web designers have got sort of lazy. They sort of presume that a lot of the packages like WordPress do it for them nowadays, and they do to an extent. It used to be that you used to have a completely separate mobile site, and I think we're sort of returning to that now, and people are having to work. You want to look at what your customer is and the customers that are converting into business. And if they're all pretty typically coming off mobile, make sure obviously you've prioritized the mobile version of your site. The other thing you want to now look at is the bounce rate. So when you're looking to rank a particular page, go into your Google Analytics, look at the bounce rate. What is a good bounce rate? I get asked that all the time. Depends on your industry, and also depends on if people are finding exactly what they want straight away. So you're always going to get high bounce rates on particular types of pages. Depends when, again, the quality of your traffic that's coming through, where it's coming from. So you really want to be able to look at, is the bounce rate high from a particular source of traffic? Especially if you're paying for that traffic. If you're paying for clicks, be it from Facebook or Google, and you've got a high bounce rate, you're just burning money. So pay attention to that. But the other side of that is, if you have a high bounce rate, you're going to find that Google's going to penalise you in the long term, because it's going to judge the page to be irrelevant, or not as relevant or as helpful as it could be, because Google's main aim is to get people to stay on Google, believe it or not, because they want your advertising revenue. So have a look at the bounce rate, continually try and look to improve that. You will find in your particular industry, you'll find a sweet spot. You might find we can't get it below 50%. And that's fair enough. And that probably sounds quite high, 50%, but tactics you can use are to try and get people to navigate around your site. I've seen people using horrible pop-ups and things like that. It's not great. Try and get people just to stay on the site. The longer they stay on there, so you'll also have bounce rate, but you've also got time on page. So obviously the higher the time on page, that's great, but also Google will be looking at scrolling and usage, where people are traveling, where they're going in your site, what they're doing. the actual experience they're getting when they land on the site. So that's really, really important. You might want to build specific landing pages. So I'll call it landers. So we do a lot of this. If you're building a page that's specifically built for a campaign and for a particular SEO keyword, you're going to want to look at all of these factors. And this is just the on-site stuff, but specific landing pages, I'd target perhaps 3 key phrases, keywords / phrases per page. How do you choose those keywords? That is a really big piece of research, and it's not always obvious. So you don't want to be just presuming this is what my customer is searching for. There's a lot more goes into it. You want to be looking at intent. So if people are typing in, where can I buy X? Obviously it's got massive intent in it rather than just the product name. So they might just be doing research at that point. One thing within all of this you want to consider is the rule of 50. And the rule of 50 says that if your site has more than 50 pages in it, it has a massive advantage over your competition. So the rule of 50 says sites with 50 pages in them consistently outperform websites that don't. So if you've got an opportunity to add pages, be it blogs, more products, information, giving tutorials. We've done a lot of work with people recently building digital academies and training, all of that sort of stuff. Think about how you can flesh your site out to more than 50 pages.